Okay, so the why is the div blah? So this is saying so the div for this was about twice as tall as it needed to be. Actually, now I'm kind of curious. This looks super fuzzy, and if I make the page bigger, it doesn't become any less fuzzy looking. Yeah, why does it look fuzzy? Oh, I wonder. I wonder if it's drawing. Oh, maybe that's why it was scaled up. Um, Maybe it was scaled up so that when it scaled down, it wouldn't look fuzzy. Aww. Okay, I'll open the door for you. Okay, so let's try doubling it again. Scale 1, change that to a 2, and refresh. Yeah, that looks way crisper. And if I change that to a 1 and refresh, yeah, that looks very blocky. Okay, so that's why we have a 2 here, so that it looks more crisp here. Okay, then I need to figure out a better way to make this height go away. Let's go back to the explanation about what's going on. Okay, so why is that so big? The issue is in page component. It sets the wrapper to the height of the scaled viewport height. Height, blah, blah, blah. Let scale 2. So that must be this. Height of the scaled viewport. Ah, here. Okay, so do we want the height of just the viewport? Scaled viewport. Page obj. Scale, get viewport, scale, scale. Do I want to just divide that by 2 to get the original height? Do I want to do that here? Divide that by 2. Let's see what happens. Okay, it still looks crisp, and it's the right height. That's good. This isn't quite lining up. Right there, the width looks good, and the height looks good too. That's interesting. 0. Let's refresh. Okay. Okay, so it looks crisp, and the highlight is in almost the right spot. Scaled viewport. Oh, wait. Hold up. I divided the wrong thing by 2 here. That's weird. I don't know what's happening. Oops. Let's divide this by 2. Whoops. And try to refresh. Does that look right? No, it does not. Damn it. Okay. Oh, that's page height. Okay. Let me look more closely. Okay, so we got scaled viewport. Oh, no. Yeah, that is... No, it's not. Okay, so this isn't using that. Okay. Divide that by 2. Let's do the same thing here. Divide that by 2. Try refreshing. Okay, now this is the right height, and it looks crisp, and this seems to be the right width, and the height is probably also right. The Y offset isn't quite right. Okay. And then that's interesting. I don't know why this highlight is different from this highlight. Oh, wait, yes I do. It's different because it's actually getting the X width and height from the fourth thing. Yeah, okay. So I wonder if maybe it should be highlighting form 1040. Oh, we can look in here. Console. Text. Can we look in here? Maybe. Did I? Oh, I tapped it. Okay, so it should be in here. Inspect. Form 1040. Credits. And then individual. Okay, so the word credits on the second page. Tax and credits. Okay, yeah, that looks like it might be the right width for the word credits and the right height. And the Y value is off because I hard-coded the Y value here instead of using the Y value. Okay, so now we need to figure out the Y value. Well, next we need to figure out the Y value. Okay, so let's see if what I just did comports with what this says. Okay, so the issue is in page component. It sets the wrapper div.pdf page wrapper to the scaled viewport height. Yes. But then PDF Canvas renders a canvas whose height is also multiply the scale by the viewport height, where a viewport is obtained with scale 1. Okay. Let viewport height scale 1, and then height is equal to multiply the scale by the thingy. Okay, PDF Canvas. So the canvas itself is the correct size. The problem is the wrapper div in page component is sized to the scaled viewport height. Then the SVG overlay is positioned absolute on top of it, but the SVG has no explicit width and height set. So it takes up its own space in the flow in addition to the canvas. Isn't absolute supposed to take it out of the flow, I thought? Roughly doubling the height of the container. Yeah, I don't know about that. The fix is to give the SVG explicit width and height matching the canvas, so it sits purely within the absolute positioned space, or ensure the wrapper div uses position relative with the canvas as the natural flow size reference and the SVG, as the natural flow size reference and the SVG as position absolute. And that costs me 2 cents to get that answer. 8 cents total for however long I've been doing this session. Yeah, I don't quite feel like I totally get that. What am I doing? So let's go look at, so the PDF canvas renders a canvas. Let's bring them both up side by side. Okay, so the issue is in page component, which is inside of a div page canvas container. Okay, so we have page component, which is a div PDF page wrapper. And in that div, we have the PDF canvas and then the SVG. Okay, kind of seems like this div is extra. We don't really need it because this whole thing is inside of a div anyway. Page canvas wrapper. Yeah, we have a div, and then this is another div, and then inside of that is a canvas and an SVG. So I think we could probably just move this up one level to here. Div page section. Page component. Yeah. Page canvas container. And then, does this have a class on the div? PDF page wrapper. PDF page wrapper. PDF page wrapper got set on a div. Okay, and then what was the other one? Page component, page canvas container. Page canvas container is also a div. Div class page canvas container. Okay, let container equal that. Then render with hover page data container, inner HTML of the container. To that. Render page with hover. It's this one. Page data and container. So we got this whole thing. Go down there. Yeah, I'm kind of curious what down here. What does this look like in this whole thing? There. We got a page section, and then inside of that we have a page canvas container, and then inside of the page canvas container we have a page wrapper. Is there a sibling to that? No, it's just a div and then another div. And then inside of that we have two canvases next to each other. Okay, why then? Why do we have that? Okay, so this has a margin and a padding, and then this has just the canvas and the other canvas in this case. Just the two canvases. Canvases? Okay, so I should try to figure out what happens with this canvas here. So it looks like the width and height of this canvas is set to exactly the same as the width and height of this canvas. So I guess I can do that. I guess that's a reason to have this div here. So this div has those two things in it, and it doesn't worry about padding or anything. So that's the job of this guy. Have the padding and stuff. Okay, I can roll with that. And then these two things have. I mean, I could also see not doing that. Just have this div, which has the padding and the margin, and then have the base thing, and then the overlay on top of it, directly underneath as children, as siblings to each other. I'm not convinced that there needs to be another div here. Oh, maybe the reason for this div is to not have to worry about the math of the margin and the padding on this thing. We can just use this div and figure out how big it is and use that to set these things. Maybe that's what's going on here. So the PDF page wrapper, do we use that to figure out the size of everything else? PDF page wrapper. Okay, so we got PDF page wrapper. Class name wrapper is PDF page wrapper. So we got wrapper here. Wrapper. Pen child. Wait, hold on. Position relative. Display inline block. Is that what I do with mine? I think so. PDF page wrapper. PDF page wrapper. Ah! Okay. Position relative display inline block. And then we set the width and the height to the viewport. The scaled viewport divided by 2. Scaled viewport here. Page height. Tap page height. Page height Y. Alright, that made it disappear completely. 1584. 1584. Okay, so wait. Why? What happens if I do that? That also disappears completely. Okay. Tap Y. So the Y value is that number, and the page height is that number. So if we take this number, divide by 2, then subtract that, page height, oh, because page height comes from the scaled viewport. Okay. Divide that by 2, and then do this. Subtract page height Y. That's close. This, okay. So what's going on here is, I think, the SVG, right, the SVG grows downwards. So if I made the height be taller, the top of it would still be at the same spot and it would go further and further this way. What I need to do is make it so that the bottom of it is right here. So I need to do take the page height, subtract y, but then also add the height. Add the height. No. Oh, I see. Subtract the height because the y-axis is flipped. Booyah! Got him. Okay, I don't super love that. But hey, I'm able to highlight a specific piece of text. And I think that's when it's maxed out. Yeah, so if I make it smaller, then it doesn't fit anymore. But if I max it out size-wise, that should be good. And then let's see if this is, yeah, it's on the word credits. Okay, cool. So it's highlighting a specific piece of text. So highlight should take in an X, a Y, a width, and a height. And then I want to get highlight text. Should take in a text and a color, and then it should do that thing that we just did. But it seems like it maybe also needs to take in how tall the page is. Don't love that. How can we do this? Maybe highlight should know that information. Yeah. So the raw data from the PDF is giving me a Y value that grows upwards, and the SVG grows downwards. The y-axis points downwards. I actually like what the PDF does better. Bigger numbers mean go higher. That actually seems exactly backwards. I would expect for the PDF, if one of them was going to have a flipped axis, the PDF or the SVG coordinate system, I would expect it to be the PDF, because the PDF deals with text a lot, and the SVG is for drawing, is at least in my mind. So I'm surprised that it's flipped the way that it is. But okay, so I can highlight a specific piece of text on purpose. That's cool. Now I just need to decide where should the axis conversion come into play. I want the data from the PDF. Should I just keep the data from the PDF exactly as it is? Or should I, when I read it in, should I flip the axis there and translate it there? I think I maybe want that. Then I don't have to decide here whether that should happen in highlight text or highlight or what. So let's go into PDF, extract. When I get text, extract text with height, do I have the height of the entire page here somewhere? I don't think I do. Extract text, text, map extract text over all of the stuff, items, text content, filter not blank. That all seems good. Do I have the page height in here somewhere? I think I do. I have page number, page, get text content, get annotations. Texts is equal to items, page content, map extract text. Turn it into a vector. Can I get the page height? Page. What is page here? It's JavaScript, whatever it is. All right, let me remove some taps. And a print line, I guess. I forgot about that. Let's go back here. And maybe I can just tap page here. Reload. Oh yeah, it would also be good to figure out why I have to keep reloading. Inspect, PDF, pages. Oh, does it not have? Oh, it has a viewport object. Wait, where was that? Viewport object. Okay. So it has a viewport. Or wait a minute. No. It has a pages, and then inside of that there's a specific page, and then that page has a viewport. Interesting. Oh, so I already have viewport here. Let's see, I have a let, annotations, viewport is this, viewport, put that there, and then once I have a viewport, I should be able to do page height is height of viewport. And then here, texts is equal to all of map extract text over the stuff. Is this already a... No, it isn't. Okay. So we get items. So I want to flip the y-axis. Let's see. I want to flip the y-axis and I'm not sure. I might need to also flip the height. So I don't know if in PDF, if it's describing the top of the piece of text or the bottom of the piece of text. When it has the x and the y coordinates. I guess we'll find out. So I want to map. Am I already in an anonymous function? I don't know. Extract text. Height. So I should be able to do that. Page height. Okay, and then extract text takes in a text and a page height. And then here, x, y, width, height, scale, y, transform 3. So transform 5, translate x, translate y. Yeah, I think I maybe don't need these things separate here, but I can get around to that later. Okay, so if I take the page height and then subtract the text height, that should work. And then I also need to do, let's see, text. No, let's use just the ones that I need to do. So x, a get, transform 4, y, a get, transform 5. Whoops. And then the main thing that I wanted with text, height, text, that's the main thing. Whoops. Looks like I was doing the wrong thing here. So I meant to be transforming this. I was transforming the height. So this should just be height, probably. But this should be subtract from the page height the y value, and then go to the other side. So I want to be describing where the top is, not where the bottom is. So height, I think that should do it. And then that would mean back here, I don't need to do that translation here. I can just put y. And then on the transform, I should be able to do scale x. I guess I might as well put that in here. Scale x is transform 0. Scale y is transform 1. Oh no, that's skew y. Skew y. skew x is transform 2, and then scale y. This must be the matrix, transformation matrix. I don't know what to call it. Transform 3. Oh. I don't know what aget is exactly. Aget. 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 Okay. And I guess... don't care. Scale x. Scale x. Transform 1. Skew y. Yep, that looks right. Skew x. 2. Skew x. Scale y. 3. X, Y. Okay. So that's for extract text, and then here, XY width height, page height. I don't actually need that here. Do I? Guess not. Hey, that's cool. And that's cool. Alright. Okay, so now y-axis grows upwards. Wait, no, I just translated it the other way around. Aw, man. Aw, okay, so Y numbers are like how far from the top are we? And it's from the top to the top of the text, which is what SVG does. Man, I really don't like that SVG does that. Why does SVG do that? That's so stupid. Okay. I'm gonna have to leave it there. Let's call that good. Wait, what? Oh, I didn't actually put the job here. Highlight text. Takes in a text. Okay, so if I put a text in, I should be able to here do highlight text, text, and then I don't need to put all of these things, and I can have a color, and let's see, then I don't actually need to put those here. Highlight text. Okay. Highlight text. Let's go up here. We'll do let x. Oh man. I do not remember what I just did. Let's just steal these. Yeah. steal these. I'll just steal them like that. And then we'll do let that stuff. And then we'll do highlight XY width height color. Wait a second. I should be able to just do XY width height. Whoops. As text. And then we don't need this let, so we should be able to do that. Okay. Do that. Okay. Yay. Okay, cool. So now I need to figure out where the mouse is relative to everything. But before I do that, let's make a commit. So I'm using highlight text now, and then highlight text uses highlight, and it just takes out XY width height from the text, and then it takes a color. Okay. And the change that I just made changes stuff for the original, so the other, this should no longer work. Oh, it works for inputs, but not for texts. Well, it's highlighting, probably highlighting way down at the bottom when I go. It's putting a bar, a highlight bar down there somewhere. So, draw input highlight, draw text highlight. How does it figure out where the mouse is? Draw negative height, translate that much, yeah. Okay. Okay, well, oh my goodness, stop with the pop-ups. Do I want to keep it that way? Or should I keep the information as close as possible to how it comes out of the PDF? I don't know. Let's just do it this way for now, and let's think about that next time. So I'll make a commit out of this. So we changed when we extract text, what exactly does a Y value mean? It now gives the upper left-hand corner of the text box instead of the, and it gives it relative a distance from there to the top of the page instead of a distance from the bottom of the text to the bottom of the page. So I actually like that better. I like this second thing. Give a distance from the bottom of the text to the bottom of the page. And I think SVG is just wrong. I'll make this a commit. Highlight a specific text. Get finished. Cool. What is it? Oh, wait, what? Did I not? Alrighty. What was in the last commit then? Highlight a specific text. All of that stuff. It was just the one file. What file? Just the app.cljs file. Okay. Commit. Instant fixup. That one. Alright, so that was E35DAF3. Put that on there. See if anybody joined. No, I'm not surprised. Finished.